Hi, welcome to chapter 3 of Street Child today. And I'm going to look at a couple of things because today in the text, Jim and the family go to quite a sort of big, grand house. So I thought it'd be quite good that if there's a link here, BBC link, and it just shows us what living like in rich Victorian houses was like. So have a look at that. I will put the link on Class Dojo. That's really good to watch. About a 5-minute clip. Let me just go to the next page, if it'll let me. Okay, computer's going slow. Okay, here we go. So a few things that are going to crop up today in the chapter 3, part 1, because it's quite a big chapter, about 12 pages, so we've just split it in half. So it mentions about a boot scraper, so you might have seen some of these before. This one would be made of cast iron, and iron is very heavy. You see, you'd scrape your boot outside before you go into through the door into the house, get all the mud off. There'll be lots of mud on the streets of London. They could be made of different things. They could be bristles on there, like from a brush. It could be wood, but that wouldn't last that long, would it? And they had lots of sort of fancy shapes. It mentions about a stove. So again, this is cast iron stove, which a lot of sort of traditional stoves would have been back then. And also it's quite sort of modern to have some stoves like that these days. I think they're called Argas, that are powered by oil. But these here, again, you can see you would have put like some coal or wood at the bottom of them, and you would have had your pans on top. I'm not sure what that is up there. And ladle. So I think that's quite sort of a smallish ladle, but say ladles are really long spoons, so you can get sort of a substantial amount of liquid or whatever it is you're cooking from one thing into another. It's probably made of maybe stainless steel, I think that one. White pinafore. So you see that's very popular to wear by the servants. And it mentions about finch. So when we did the Great Bird Watch, the Winter Watch last half term, I think it must have mentioned about finches. There's loads of different finches in the world, and yellow is quite a sort of a popular one in this country. And in the Victorian times, it was quite fashionable, quite popular to be selling birds on the streets, but they'd sell them in the cages. So, bit of a shame, really, but they like to have birds in cages. We just think, the bird, naturally it just flies about, doesn't it? So in a way, it's quite cruel just to keep them in the cages, but it was seen as very sort of trendy, very popular to do that. Okay, a few words that are going to crop up today. So we've got the word stately, where the houses were big and stately. So what do you think that means, stately? Well, stately means quite grand. Quite sort of grand and big, like that. Murmured. So, be good, she murmured to them. So, murmured is when you say something very quietly. Bulged. Her dress rolled up, so her arms bulged out of them. So what does that mean, bulge? So bulge means sort of bigger, doesn't it? It's bulging out. It's quite big. Okay, so there's some vocabulary today. Make sure you look at that BBC link all about the kind of rich Victorian houses. Okay.